Click. That's better. It's going to smoke a little bit when I first start it. I will explain why here in a minute. Yeah, okay, folks, so here's what happened. The other day, I was going to do a synchronization on it, and I brought my carb tune out and hooked it all up and hooked it back up to fuel and turned the fuel on, and within, 10-15 seconds, walking over to this side that I'm on right now, I go to crank it, start it up, won't start. Won't even pop. Nothing. And I'm like, what the hell? And it just, I cranked it a little bit more, and I'm like, it sounded fine cranking, normal cranking at normal rhythm. And then I noticed that the carburetors were overflowing. I had fuel coming out the muffler down at the collector, and I immediately shut everything down at that point. There was some fuel in the air box as well. A lot of it went in there, but I went through a good portion of my can before I figured it out. So naturally I was really worried about any type of a hydrolock situation, but thank God it didn't fire. And the problem was on all 4 carbs, which is why it didn't fire. Because if it had fired, like let's say it was only 1 carb overflowing and the other 3 were firing, it could easily have hydrolocked and been a rod. Clearly we don't have that case right now. So this is what I did. Of course, shut the fuel off and drain the carbs immediately as they sat right here. And then pull the plugs and then spin the motor over. I did get some fuel out of it, in particular number 1, but not a lot. Just a kind of a little bit, a couple of pushes. And then I immediately, right after that, shot some fogging oil down into the cylinders and spun it around again. Then I pulled the carb rack. Then I shot some more fogging oil in through the intake boots, the intake carb holders, while it's cranking to re-lubricate cylinders. And then started to diagnose what the problem was. So here's the problem. I screwed up, and I'm not immune to that, but it was my mistake and my error, although it didn't show itself in my initial testing. You remember in the video where I put that I was going to change out the O-rings on those float seats, and I thought I had them in the shed, which I did. I had them. They were the same ones. They weren't exactly, they weren't Kawasaki branded. I forgot exactly which ones they were because I don't think they were in the original bags. But I knew what they were, and I knew they weren't just junk aftermarket, and they were the right size. So I put those in. And as you saw in the video, it passed a pressure test, and it passed an overflow test on the bench, and it passed a service fuel level test. So I'm like, okay, we're golden. And then we have a major carb overflow issue. What it was doing was the O-rings failed somehow, being exposed to the fuel for that short bit of time. And it was going around the float seat, like I warn people on when they take carbs apart to change those O-rings out for that reason. So there's the problem. Now, naturally, that really gives me some, a little pucker factor going on when I put raw gas into cylinders like that. But again, it did not fire, and there's no way you're going to bend a rod based on the torque that a starter can crank out. If there was enough, if there was a hydraulic situation in one cylinder, the starter would just go and pretty much not be able to do that. But when it fires on another cylinder or two, that's when you have a problem. There was no such situation. Again, didn't even try to pop because it was so flooded. So as you saw in this video, the little clips, I ordered all new stuff from Z1 Enterprises. I got it today, and I went through and I installed it. I had to readjust the carburetors. I had to significantly change the float levels to make the service fuel level test pass. As you saw at a couple of tries, it was very high. I had to really bend those tanks. The reason is manufacturing variances. They're aftermarket, but they're good. They're made in Japan, maybe just a little bit different size, and so it is what it is. But the tangs are not bottoming out on the actual body of the the jet, or I should say the float needle body, if you will, and everything seems to work fine. My initial second or third try on the service fuel level, I got 2, 3, and 4 were good, but 1 was out, so I had to bend that tang down just even a little bit more to get that service fuel level to come into specs. That also explains why when I put the original set in that we took out of here, I did have to bend those down significantly too. I do not know why. Then when I put them in under this circumstance, just with different O-rings, they needed to be bent back up. I can't explain that because I do this all the time and I do it over and over and I double check, and so I don't know why. But so we have it now, and I'm not going to put a video up and pretend that I know everything, that I don't make mistakes, because I do. I think it's important for us creators to do that when we make mistakes on things like this, so you learn from them as well. Because I always learn from my own mistakes, and I will continue to do that throughout all the work that I do, whether it's on a customer's rig or something on my own. So that's the deal. Now she runs smartly, as you can tell. That initial smoke was, of course, from that fogging oil. I put a good amount in there to re-lubricate the cylinders. Wasn't a ton of fuel, but I'm going to, as a courtesy thing, I am going to change the oil for the customer. Put some fresh oil in just in case. And no charge to him because, my mistake. I'm not going to charge him for that. So yeah, I think we're good. The thing is running fine, and now we're up to the point where we were at, where I can move on and do some other stuff. This is a relatively short video, so I'm going to start putting up maybe a few of these shorter ones, and then add at the end of them some clips from my Georgia trip. Initially was going to do a complete long video on the Georgia trip, but I just didn't have enough good material. So I figured when I have a shorter video, I'll put a couple of clips at the end of it for your enjoyment. And I guess that's about it. So mistakes are okay as long as you correct them and you fess up to them. And I never lie about making mistakes. If I make a mistake, I correct it, and I do what I got to do. So until next time, do what you got to do. Go down, put comments in, ring the bell, subscribe, like the video, and you get notified when I put some more stuff up on the channel. Till next time, don't just repair, restore. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next video. Howdy folks, thanks for tuning back in. This should be the start of what I promised in an earlier video. I think it was that information update deal I did, where I was taking a trip up to Georgia, do some motorcycle and destroy some roads on the Concourse 14. Today is April 18th. It's about 1:30 in the afternoon, and what I'm doing today is packing because I'll be leaving tomorrow. Because I'm old and I need to do things slow, and I take 2 days to get up there because of the aforementioned reasons. So I have to haul a lot of stuff. I'll admit it. I used to be able to pack everything up in the back here and in the bag, the top case rather, and in the side bags. But circumstances just really don't allow that anymore. It has a lot to do with my health and what I have to bring with me. And I don't want to bring you down, so I won't get into that. Now, the way I do this packing, it's pretty simple actually. I put things as evenly spaced behind, or slightly behind at least, the axle and in front of it to kind of keep the weight, where it's supposed to be as far as tongue weight. Tongue weight generally is 10 to 15% of the total trailer weight. This trailer don't weigh about 110, 120 pounds empty. So if I add another 100, 120, 150 pounds, we're talking 300 pounds, not even, maybe 2 something. So I would want about a 20-pound tongue weight on there, and I usually measure that. I measure it from there, it's close enough. But bring the scale out here and measure it once I get it filled. Yeah, it's pulled all right, and this is the first time I'm doing it with that axle. Redo that I did. A goodbye metric axle. It's one of the videos in my series, in my list. So we'll see how that works out. Anyway, so I'm going to finish packing, and so I'll stop there. But Wednesday, midday probably, will be up in Macon, Georgia. Hopefully. We'll see. We're up here in Helen, Georgia at the hotel. This is a Quality Inn downtown. The Motorcycle Sport Touring Association official event, which is an unofficial event, actually starts today. So we got a bunch of guys coming in on different bikes. And we did about 240 miles today. Unfortunately, I couldn't get any video while doing that because we were on the move and we really wanted to cover some twisty roads, and which is what we did. But I did have a mechanical setback, which I know I admit is embarrassing considering what I do and what I put videos up about, but it happens. And what I have is I got a leaking front right fork. Let's take a close look at it here and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so this is a diaper to catch the oil. It's not leaking terribly bad, but it's leaking enough. I don't think it's oozing any while it's sitting here. It's really only when I'm moving and the forks are moving. And the forks are moving a lot because I'm doing a lot of trail braking and doing a lot of hammering them going into and through a turn. So I turned the dampening down on it to see if it would reduce the pressure a little bit. I can't really say that that is going to help, but you can see there's a little shininess there. It's also very gritty, so I'm trying to keep it as clean as possible. So this doesn't affect the suspension as far as operation. It might if it bleeds all the fluid out and the dampening is affected, but I think what's going to end up happening is nothing. And we'll just keep something on it and keep it from getting on the brake. That's the main thing. We got to keep it off the brake disc and the brake pads. So I'll be going on my supplier website here from my phone because I can log into my commercial account. I'm going to go ahead and order the parts either tonight or tomorrow. Today's Thursday. And then I'll get them coming. By the time I get home, they'll be there most likely. And then we'll get it set up and do the video. But get it rebuilt. We're going to do both, of course. That's about it right now. I can take you around and show you a couple bikes, but maybe we'll do that another time because it's about time to get some dinner. All right, folks, another adventure as part of this video. We stopped along the side of, this is 215 North Carolina. These folks on Harleys picked up some sort of nail or a staple in a rear tire. They didn't have a plug kit, so we turned around and here we are on the road, blocking things off, of course. And it's plugged and we're filling up the tire again. So this is what it's all about, folks. Motorcycling, we help each other out. And just like when I do these videos for y'all on fixing stuff, I'm just trying to help you out because I want to share the knowledge. So we share the brotherhood, sisterhood, and we share the knowledge, and this is what it's all about. Like I said, we help each other out.
Yeah, that's what we usually play out.
1 horsepower.
Country or Christian.
So now, more problems, folks. I didn't have enough problems with the leaking forks. Now I've got a staple, like a little nail in my tire. Pressure started going down. So we're at a food mart somewhere. Where are we, Wayne?
Dillard.
Huh?
Dillard,
North Carolina? Georgia. There's the Waniac on the ground. Yeah. And since he was already down there, I had to go relieve myself. So what we're doing now is we are going to try to plug it. Now, there's a lot of controversy on plugging tires, but as they say in the biz, what the f*** are you going to do? You're on the side of the road. So we're going to go ahead and plug it. And
mention that the Harley guys we encountered earlier were going to incur a $400 tow.
Oh yeah. There's the video clip earlier that's in this video. We're going to need we're going to have a $400 tow with a $100 credit deposit on top of that. Plus, what was the other plus part? There was some other plus.
It was a $400 after the $100 hog member discount.
Oh yeah, because I
need you to put it.
Hang on, what I got to do here is I got to put my foot on the brake while he's doing this. So see if we can get you in the picture. Don't push it all the way in this time.
Okay.
Pull it out
Success.
smartly.
Success.
Good.
Now give me the cutters.
Don't cut it off too short.
No, just leave about that much.
Folks, there's one floating around inside the tire, so it is what it is. Now we can let that cure up a little bit.
Yeah, give it 5 minutes and then we'll put some air in it.
Yeah, so there we go. Excitement, fun in the games.
All right, you guys sort out what tool belongs to who or what? Or
I'll tell you what, guys. Sometimes these trips are... It's the first time I've had a flat tire on one of these trips, though, or at least a tire with something in it. Now we got to put air in it.
Nope.
But those plugs work really well. Those plugs, I've never had one fail. And I've plugged other tires, but just not on trips like this.
And I have used a remaining tire up, including running very spirited in the mountains.
That's right, yep. So,
all right, let's get that pump out.
All right,
it's set up.
That's it. Hi, folks. Another part of our adventure. We're back down in Suchess, Georgia, at the Two Wheels. Again, you saw a clip before of that. Two Wheels of Suchess facility, campground, restaurant. I think I mentioned in an earlier clip that they're not open during the week for restaurant and food, but they are on a weekend. So as I said, this is Sunday. What they're doing today is they're just having breakfast or brunch or whatever you want to call it. And they're going to be hooking up to bring in the MotoGP race that's in Portugal. Now the race, right now it's 8:43, 8:44 and in the AM. And so the race is actually on, but I don't know how they're going to do it. They must have a way to stream it in arrears, so to speak. but they are going to be putting it on around 9. So we're going to hang out here a while for that. We already ate, and then we'll take off because we're going to have to back our trip out by one day, or at least me one day, because I was going to leave on Tuesday. But today is being Sunday. Tuesday is a rain day. It's supposed to rain up here, 65 to 70% chance. It has been consistent over the last few days. So I'm going to back out a day on my reservation and most likely leave tomorrow to head south. This will be the last day we're going to be riding around up here. I'll take a little bit more video. We'll take some video inside there, show you the inside of Two Wheels Only if you haven't been there before. You can look up their website. I don't know the URL, but just Google Two Wheels Only, you'll find it. And what you have from there is you can look up the history. It's got a pretty long history as a motorcycle-only resort, and I encourage you to do that. So, until the next clip, we'll catch you later.